So you want to add a moving rudder to your plane. So you don't necessarily need to, and not everyone adds one to their plane. This plane right here that I made doesn't actually have one. And honestly, after making it, the heck? Anyway, back to what I was saying. After making it, I kind of wish I did add a rudder. See, what a rudder does is it allows your plane to move left and right on the x-axis and not roll. So as you can see, my plane is moving to the left, and the only way I can counteract this is by rolling, but rolling leads my plane to moving to the right, and I don't want it to necessarily move to the right. I want it to face right. You know, I want my nose to be facing right. So there's a couple ways we can do this. The first is going to be kind of lazy. We're going to add a gyro. So you're going to go over to the blocks tab, and you're going to go to mechanic, and you're going to do the gyro. You're going to face it on the axis that you want it to turn your plane. So you're going to have it face this way. And for rudder, I would suggest using Q and E for the controls. So Q for left, E for right. And you're going to want to turn the strength up quite a bit. I'd say about halfway is normally good for most cases. So once we get up into the air and we retract our landing gear, we can now see that our nose is moving to the left. With this gyro acting as a rudder on our vertical stabilizer, it can move our nose back straight, which will give us a straight trajectory. See, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, this is not very realistic, but Trailmakers gives you a lot of options for going for a hard, more realistic approach to a more simple and less realistic approach. Let's head back, and I'm going to show y'all how to do this realistically. So planes in real life will have their rudder on their vertical stabilizer, which is this back wing right here. This basically this prevents your plane from drifting left to right in the air. And basically your rudder will let you keep control of this. So the first thing we're going to do is move our wing out of the way, or any blocks that you have here. And there's two ways you can do this. We can either do this with a small elevator fin or a big one, whatever size you need. I'm going to place them like that so that it's balanced. I'm going to place some blocks in the middle. But if this fits, if you only need one, if you only need two, if you need three, it works the same way. Then, like the gyro, we're going to do Q for left and E for right. You can check on the arrows. So Q, your rudder right here is going to be moving this way, which will move you left. Okay, we're in the air, and my plane is moving to the left as it usually does. We're going to counteract this with our rudder. And look at that. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Now again, this isn't necessary for all aircraft, but it's extremely useful if you want a more realistic, precise movement. Usually if you're building a fighter plane, you don't need it unless you really want precise control. But for a plane like this, it works beautifully. The next way we're going to do this is with a steering hinge. So you're going to go to mechanic, and you're going to place, you can do one, but I prefer to do two steering hinges. You're then going to go to lift and drag and choose some wings, some regular wings, the modular ones, either big or small. And you're going to want to make sure that you're not touching any spot that will stick them onto the plane. So right here, either you can remove this, you can shorten this. I think I might shorten this real quick. Actually, no, because I'd have to shorten a lot more. I'm going to leave it like this. And you can use pipes, or I'm going to use the U bracket to attach this to our steering hinge. You're going to do that to both sides. And to connect them, you're going to use the flat connectors. Now, just like the last time, we're going to use Q and E. So this time the green arrow is the green is facing this way and the red's facing this way. So we're going to kind of do the opposite of how we had it. We're going to do Q on green and E on red. And it should be the same thing up here, Q and E. And if we look back here, Q will move us to the left, E will move us to the right. Beautifully done. So my plane here is drifting to the left. Okay, well, no, it's drifting to the right, so we're gonna use left rudder, just a little bit of left rudder to correct this. And look at that, we're heading straight on. This plane is a little weird, but if you hold it or tap it, it'll work. A lot of these planes in Trailmakers, it's a matter of the user too. Some planes work really well, some don't, and you have to kind of counteract its weird instabilities. But yeah, I'm gonna land this thing. I'm gonna show y'all some examples on another plane that I have that actually already has this installed. So here I have my my plane based off the FA-18 Hornet, and on the back here you can see 2 vertical stabilizer, each with an elevator fin that I'll use as the rudders. So let's take off and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so now that we're in the air, I do have it to where they flare out slightly. This isn't like, not every plane will have that. Anyway, these already have the rudders installed, and E, move me right. And you're gonna want to be careful with how much rudder you use, because you can end up crashing just like that. But yeah, overall, I'd recommend adding a rudder to any plane you use, just using the simple flap wings. I wouldn't really try, I wouldn't use the steering hinges unless you need them. You can also do the same thing you do with the steering hinges, but with a steering servo. So you can do that. But I would just keep it with this. It's really simple. It really helps. And the next video is going to be about something that we call flaps. I'm going to activate my flaps right there, and we're going to land smoothly. Those flaps help a lot, but that'll be in the next video. I'll show you all how to do those, and then in the video after that I'll probably show you how to do landing gear quite like this, or with many other aircraft. It's kind of complicated sometimes to fit it all in a small space. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something.